Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back for another card review. So I know I'm a bit late for this card review, but anyways, the power release just came out yesterday. So if you guys have not power release this card right now, you can actually take a look at this review and then consider whether you want to power release this card or not. Alright, so we're talking about Cao Cao. He finally have his power release, and let's take a look at his leader skill. Alright, so attack of demon and red army members times 5, HP and recovery times 1.4. Alright, so notice that Cao Cao here is not a fire playstyle, where it's actually a demon playstyle, and then add on extra red army members, which means like the upcoming Cai Wenji, Xia Hu Dun, all these are under the red army section, right? So if you have no idea who is under the red army, right, you can go to your inventory, you can filter red army, and then you can see all the selected cards. Right, so extend rule movement time regardless by 1 second, so leader ally is actually 2 seconds regardlessly. Alright, and then number 3, the more groups of fire dissolve, the higher the attack of fire and red army member, to the max 3.5 for 4 groups. Alright, so there is actually an increase in multiplier as well. Right, so previously it was lesser than 3.5 and now it's 3.5, and then the only disadvantage is previously to hit the max multiplier you need 3 groups of fire, and now to the max, for the max multiplier you need 4 groups, right? And 4 groups is extremely difficult to hit, right? Actually, in my opinion, 3 groups is already very hard to hit. Okay, so it's a bit of a disadvantage here, right? So let's move on to the next part. Okay, so I'm going to quickly touch on the team skill of Cao Cao right here. So number 1, you can see by dissolving 5 runestones, you can turn 4 corners into enchanted fire at the beginning of the next round. So in my opinion, 4 corners is it's a very pathetic convert, right? This is what I've said for the previous Clio card as well, right? So now instead of pre-power release, it was 5 runes, and now after power release is enchanted fire, which I find that is a bit pathetic in my opinion, right? I feel that they should give at least enchanted fire demon runes at the very least, right? So but that didn't happen. So anyways, moving on. Part 2, by dissolving more than 3 groups of fire, damage received will not lead to your defeat. So this is more of like a tumbler skill should you need to, survive the round and stuff like that. Okay, number 3 is very good addition. Reduce the damage to burn by burning to 1. So this is what you can see in Roy Mustang, right? So if you spin through a fire spot, it actually is actually dealing 1 damage instead of a fixed amount of damage or percentage damage. So moving on, fire runes possess effect of other attribute rune stones. So this is kind of to help the red army section, right? So red army doesn't have to be fire attribute, right? So by dissolving fire, it actually gives the other red army members a chance to attack as well, right? So kind of balancing the entire damage output throughout the entire team, right? If not, you will have like a very fragmented damage by water attribute, earth attribute, for example, right? So that fixed the problem. Last but not least, we have the team skill of the fire red army area, which is what you can see in Guan Yu gameplay. Just that Guan Yu is the blue area, and then Cao Cao is a red area, which is a T shape of a T on the board. Alright, so by dissolving runes in that area, you get extra multiplier. So in my opinion, I find that this gameplay is very, very difficult to pull off, right? Especially with bot hazards on the board. So you can see that you need to focus on dissolving as many groups of fire as possible. At the same time, you need to spin the red army area to get that max multiplier, right? So in my opinion, it's too much of a hassle, right? And I think that this is a bit of a pity in my opinion, right? So I expected Cao Cao to kind of overtake Eve in terms of gameplay, but it didn't seem to fix the problem that Cao Cao had in the first place. Okay, so last but not least, let's talk about Cao Cao's active skill, which is turning 8 runestones at fixed position into enchanted fire. So again, this could have been better, which is enchanted fire demon, right? To kind of push the damage a bit more, right? For 1 round, extend rune movement to 10 seconds, so that's kind of for you to align the board properly and probably spin that red army area as well. And then last but not least, by dissolving more than 4 groups of fire, team attack times 2 additionally. So this is actually possible with Cao Cao's active skill, because the convert should give you enough fire runes to do 4 groups of fire. Alright, so in any case, you can see that for this team setup, there is actually no way of dealing with any boss skills, right? So for example, like you have a 5 attribute shield or a Tetris shield. You know, all these kind of problems. Cao Cao team will have problems over solving this kind of boss skills, right? Which makes this team not very versatile in my opinion, right? So in my opinion, do you want to PR this? I would not suggest you guys to PR this if you are tight on power release materials and stuff like that, right? So for me, I went ahead to power release because I need to showcase his gameplay nonetheless, right? But for normal players or even newer players that have not drawn Cao Cao at all and are played or is wondering whether you want to draw Cao Cao and power release it to play him at the power release form, I suggest not to, right? Save your diamonds, save your power release materials. I think this card is a total flop, and then you should just forget about it. Alright, so overall, very big disappointment for this card, right? And I have to give my very honest opinion to, you know, at least help you guys out. Okay, so that will be all for today's card review for Cao Cao. If you guys enjoyed this video, do give it a like, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.